Hey, good morning, everybody. Rory Powers, Right Line Trading. Happy Friday. Before we get started, this broadcast is for educational and demonstration purposes only. I am not a licensed financial advisor. If you're not familiar with the risks associated with trading, please consult with a licensed financial advisor. All right, Friday. Had some big news reports. My charts were smoking. I had actual smoke coming off the screens. Let's take a look at Forex Factory. Hope everybody had a blessed evening. Forex Factory. We had the average hourly earnings month over month, non-farm employment change, and employment rate. 10 a.m. coming up, consumer sentiment. And inflation expectations. Let's see what the news was. U.S. employment situation. Payrolls grew by 256,000 in December. Much more than expected. Positive report. Unemployment rate fell just a little bit. So the news was rosy. Average hourly earnings. Okay, so 10 o'clock we got a couple of orange folders coming up. The leaderboard. If today's your first day joining us at Right Line Trading, we're going to be showcasing the AI Auto Trader today. And the AI Auto Trader is a fully automated system. And once the strategies are enabled, the system will execute and manage the trades on your behalf. We're currently trading all of the futures index equities with exception to the Russell. We've got the S&P 500, the ES, the NASDAQ NQ, and the Dow YM. We've also added crude oil and gold into the mix. And what we do is we run the strategies through the overnight session, right through the London Open and into the US Open. And we look at it, we have a leaderboard of which ones of our bots are performing the best in this current trading environment. And the cream always rises to the top. And my leaderboard this morning, the SimUB test, is a strategy that runs on the ES. It's a variation of the ES30 range. So it's a very similar strategy. I've changed the trade management parameters from out of the box just a little bit. And that particular strategy is up $3,000 on the overnight and the pre-market overnight session. 30 range. My 30 range strategies are 1, 2, and 3 on the ES. These top 3 are all ES 30 range strategies. My SimVW, I believe, is also a 30 range. So my top 5 are all ESs. We've got a couple of NQs in here. NQ 2-minute smart stop. My velocity is the 30 range on the NASDAQ. That's using the velocity filter. The velocity filter, if you're wondering, is looking for it's a filter that's used to prevent you from getting into chop. If the market is choppy, it's a ranging market going sideways, it's going to prevent you from entering a trade. The velocity filter is satisfied when the market moves 80 or 100 ticks on the NASDAQ. And then that filter will be satisfied. Crude oil is getting some attention. Crude oil is on my bottom left. It looks like institutional money is manipulating the crude oil market. It's at 880 and it's in an open position. Price of crude is going up. I did turn on my trade copier this morning and picked up a nice winner on an ES trade. So the ES30 is red hot with a couple of NASDAQ and a crude oil strategies mixed in. From there, what I do is I go to my trade copier. If you're trading multiple accounts, it's a great tool to use a trade copier where we can pick a leader account right off of one of these sim accounts and I can put my Apex accounts or any prop firm's accounts, I can make those my followers. And with the click of a mouse, I could turn it on and copy all the trades across all my accounts. If you're just trading one account or a live account, what you would need to do if you wanted to switch from sim into a live account is you would find the strategy that you want to change. You would first disable it, and then you would select Edit Strategy. I'm just going to start a new one just to show you. And what you would do is you would scroll down towards the bottom to your account and change it into the live account or whichever account you want to trade it in. This is where you would change it within the strategy parameters. Then in order to see the trade, if I was to put this on my Apex account, so let's say, for example, Apex 42, then I would have to put in my chart trader on the correct instrument that it's trading in. I would also have to put Apex 42. So the strategy account and my chart trader account would have to match in order for me to see my stop and my profit target. All right, the opening bell just rang. This velocity strategy I noticed, I always like to keep an eye on my performance. Between 9:30 and 10, this strategy historically crushes it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. For the month of December, what I could do is I could put a performance, I go to my control center, click New, Trade Performance, and what I could do is I can see the analysis of any one of my strategies. Well, you can see here in the month of December, this strategy here that's using this velocity filter, at 9:30, it loves this half hour. At 9:30, it's made over $6,400. Let me generate this and get it going again. It's right back in my profit target. Now it's up to $6,600 this strategy's made right at 9:30, between 9:30 and 10. So I was on the phone with one of our members, Steven, yesterday, and I was showing him how he could pull up his performance and go through each one of his strategies. And under period, if you change it to the half hour of the day and you put it on your entry time, it's going to show you how it performs during each half hour of the day. Some of these strategies do extremely well at certain times of the day. I got into that trade on my trade copier. I turned on the velocity a little late though. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this one. Now we're short on the NASDAQ on that 30 range. A little heat here. A lot of heat here. Love to catch a runner. My profit target is right above that area of resistance. Not a good spot for it. Let's see if we can break it. Got some buying pressure here. Got an exit on the line change. Ooh. My trade copier doesn't like that exit. Okay, I see the problem. After this trade, I'm not going to be able to trade this strategy with that exit on the line change, I see. All right, let me turn this off. Oh. All right, let me get out of this. Okay, great. Okay, the trade copier on that exit on a line change isn't a good mix. I just learned. Okay, so what I was getting at was you can go through each and every one out of the box. We set you up with a separate SIM account for each one of the strategies. So on your trade performance, this little, it looks like a golf tee up on the right is the filter. If you click that filter, then you can look on each one of your strategies and see the historical performance. If you go to summary, this strategy is up $10,950 in the month of December. It takes a lot of trades, though. It takes a lot of trades. The winning percentage, I'm profitable on 60% of them. So about 4 out of 10, I lose about 4 out of 10 I'm losing money on. So we're not going to win every trade. But our risk to reward is a decent risk to reward. Okay. So 10,950 on that. And most of it is between 9 and 9:30. So those are good metrics. In order to see the half hour per day, I change my summary to analysis. And I put the period on half hour of the day, and I want to make sure I'm looking at my entry time. And boom, there it goes again. So it loves this half hour out of the day. A lot of support right there. Those blue lines are areas, prices of support. Another nice one is this Sim Smart Stop 2 that kicks in right at about 11:30 and runs right through 1 o'clock. That's a really strong strategy there in that window. And that's kind of what our bots and drones, the logic, do automatically. When I go on YouTube Live, though, we want to get trades right during the session. So I want to showcase the most powerful bots in this time frame between 9:30 and 11:30. And at 9:30, this one here has been my strongest. Come on, keep going down. Get in my profit window. Bounced on me. See if we can get it to come back down. Come back down. Come on down. Got me on the line change. We go again. It's an aggressive strategy. Come on down. Come on down. I'm looking to get in my profit window here. So my stop will take this risk off. Didn't happen on that swing down. Let's see if we can get it a little closer now. Once I get within 15 or 20 ticks of my profit target, my stop will swing down, take all the risk off the trade, and lock in some profits. Until that happens, though, it gives it plenty of room. It's sure to keep you on the edge of your seat. Well, look at that. Came back and stopped me out. I wanted to put a link in the chat box. We have a presentation today at 1 o'clock on the AI Auto Trader. If you're not available, register anyway, and we'll send you a replay. Today at 1 o'clock, we're going to go over we'll take a look under the hood, see our best performing strategies, and be able to answer any questions that you might have. So I'm going to put that registration link in the chat box here in just a second, right after this trade closes. Back in long. It's a tough market. Oh, I did get into the ES trade. Okay, let me put this registration link in. Good morning, Al. Hey, Duke. Good morning, Judy. Okay, I just put the registration link in. Just took another short trade on the ES. NQ 2-minute smart stop. Let's take a look at the 2-minute. Got into a nice trade on this 30 range. You can see we have a very ambitious profit target and some clever ways to lock in profits along the way. This is a 240 tick profit target on the E-mini. Once we get a certain distance, that stop should move down and lock in profits. That ES30 range was all over the leaderboard this morning, and I went with the NASDAQ. Big move down. ES is right on support. So I put the link to register for this afternoon's webinar at 1 o'clock. Got a live presentation. Black gold. Wow. Look at that. Crude oil is really ripping it today. We got a news report coming at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's a cold day down here. Well, we consider it cold. Probably the rest of you would consider it warm. But the current temperature is 62 degrees. For us, that's cold. 62, but it is absolutely beautiful. There's not a cloud in the sky. Here comes a haymaker short. Boom. What a great entry short on the NASDAQ. That was a beauty. This one here could have some legs. Got that area of resistance, of support. If it breaks through that, this thing could run a country mile. Trying to break through these blue lines here. Let's see if it drifts down. Kind of choppy today. Choppy. Let's see if anything's creeping up. Nope. The ES30 is really the one to trade today. ES30 range. Crude oil black gold, signal B, is doing well. Up 1250. But the ES30 is all over the leaderboard. Nothing's even close. A lot of support right here. Got in the window. Bounced. We're bouncing right off of that price right there. 21,029. We break through it, this ES could go down to the basement. A lot of selling pressure. Retesting it. In 2 days, the scalpers made $7,000. Wow, that's incredible. I don't see it on mine. Let me see where my scalper's at. Trade performance. NQ scalper. Ooh. No, my scalper's down. Let's see if we can break this support. If we can break this area of support, we've got some running room. The ES wants to go. Getting a little turbulence here. It's pushing down and pushing down. Retesting. Here we go, 21,025. Almost. Here we go again. It's retesting it. Got a lot of bulls, a lot of buyers sitting right at that price point. We're stuck right in a very narrow range right now. We've got a fierce battle. Got a really nice strategy that runs on that ES30 range. Well, we have a number of them. Ooh, they came up and kissed my stop. You see that? Uh-oh. I was just going to say, I've seen this happen before, and it finds the bottom, and it just can't break it. And then all of a sudden, it just reverses and just goes straight up. This is another ES30. It says 5 minute, but it's really the 30 range. Is up 4,000 for the month. Let's take a look and see what the best performing strategies are for the month of December. The 1 day pass is on the 5 minute has done poorly, but the 1 day pass on the 30 range ES has done very well. The ES 5 minute bot down 346. The drone is down 2100. So the drone is the one that's running all 23 hours of the trading session. And it's relaying the data to the bot on the times of the day it does the best and what the average true range of the market is. The 20U is down 672. The bot down 672 for the month. The 20 Unarenko Mac truck. The drone is down 6,000. The Signal D 20U is down 922. Took a long trade now. The 2-minute 1-day pass has done very well. Ooh. Oh, something just happened. It just broke right through. It just broke right through. Now we've got some running room. Oh, this is the 10 o'clock report. This is that 10 o'clock news report. Broke right through that area. Popped right through. Hey, this ES trade could be off to the races. We got a 200 tick profit target on this E-mini trade. It's up 1362. And we've got some real running room now. I was all over this UB strategy. Should have stayed away from the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is just an addiction. It's not healthy. Now you can see my stop is trailing on that E-mini trade. It's going for a home run. Retracing. We are in a monster trade. On the velocity filter on the NASDAQ, I believe it's 2280, if I remember correctly. I think I reduced it to 80, Scott. I met with Marcy last night, and she has a number of strategies that we've integrated that velocity filter into to test them out. And it'll be interesting to see how those perform. We weren't sure where to put that velocity filter on the ES. We were giving 20 a try, but I'm not sure. With the NASDAQ, 80 or 100 is about right. We are in a monster trade. Here we go. $22.50 on the E-mini. Got into an oversold environment. It's retracing on us. Ooh, came close. Let's see if we can continue on a second leg down. I'll double check, Scott, to make sure. But I'm 99% sure it's 80 because I was going over it yesterday with Marcy. Marcy's just doing outstanding. Every single one of her accounts is in the green. Here we go. Let's go. If we break through this area, we could get a second leg down. Yeah, I wanted to mention anybody, any member of ours that's in California, our prayers are with you. My goodness gracious. Good Lord Almighty. God have mercy. What a fire. Here we go, second leg down. This monster trade in the ES. Let's see if we can get it to go all the way. These are my open positions here. My ES30 range is in a, this is the out of the box, is in a $500, 612. It's in a short. These are all ES30 range, with exception to this smart velocity, is the NASDAQ. ES and the NQ are really our 1-2 punch with this system. Sporadically, we'll have gold and crude oil in the mix. Bam. Got it. Only up 275 on the NQ strategy. This is a monster E-mini trade. You know, who asked that? Scott. We tried. Marcy was telling me that she tried the volume, and I'm going to ask Sergio about that. I'm glad you mentioned that. What Scott's referring to is that volume threshold, and I've thought many times that that would really be a great filter to use. Because when institutional money jumps in, you see that volume spike, and to stand aside until that happens, I think is a great idea. But what we found was, even putting it at a low number, I think she had mentioned she put it at 200, and it was preventing it from trading. And I'm not exactly sure why. Why don't we test it out? Let's make a new strategy. And under my available list, how I build a new strategy is I go to my strategies tab of my control center, and I right click and I select new strategy. And then under my available list, I'm going to select the AI Auto Trader P. And then I'm going to come down to my templates on the bottom right, and I'm going to load this template that's taking a lot of trades because I want to see if that volume filter, how it works. So let's find that NQ, what is it, the velocity. One of my folders opened up yesterday of old strategies, and there's a million of them in here now, so I need to clean this whole thing up again. Let me find that velocity. Velocity. These are not, it looks like there's a million of them, but these aren't all active strategies. I was with Jason and I was sharing my templates, and I opened a folder and it got all mixed together. All right, let's try it on the scalper drone. So the filter that we're talking about is this volume threshold right here. I think that's what Scott was talking about. And then we put it, let's say, 500 contracts a minute. So in order for this filter to be satisfied, this condition, we would have to have at least 500 contracts per minute crossing. And we'll put it on both of the entries. And I'm just going to put it on an account I'm not using, like the Russell. And we'll enable that. Oh, that's the wrong one. This one. And we'll see if it takes a trade. My scalper is up. My ES scalper. Holy moly, look at the ES scalper. $2,400. It's also in a monster trade. So you probably also have that trade. Is that right? If you're running the ES8U scalper, I think you might be in this same trade. Yeah, no problem, Scott. I'm curious to see if it takes a trade. It did. It did take a trade. So that condition is working. It's actually in a trade now. Let's go to it. If we go to that RTY, was it the Signal A drone? No, the Signal A cash cow drone. RTY, Signal A cash cow. Okay, so this is the strategy that I put the volume threshold filter on. I put the volume threshold very low for the NASDAQ at 500. Marcy was telling me that she had it on 200. I'm not sure which instrument it was, but it was filtering out a lot of her trades. She was finding it difficult to get into them. But I see here at a 500 threshold on the volume, it is executing on that NASDAQ strategy. Excuse me for just a quick moment. We're going to go till 11 o'clock today. 2,900 now. Which strategy is that, Scott? The scalper? The ES scalper? Excuse me for just a moment. I'm going to run to the restroom. Okay, I'm back. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, this SIM-UB test is the 8 Unarenko ES strategy. If I go to my strategy and I find that account, it's running on the 8 Unarenko. So if we were to get an accurate look at what this looks like, we would have to change our data series to, this is correct, an 82040. So this actually shows the trade, what the strategy was looking at. It took the short right here where this cross is, and it traded through that news report that came out. And it broke right through that area of support, and it's been running ever since. But this is the data series that strategy is actually looking at, an 82040. Got caught up in some of this chop. Great job, Scott. ES was the one to trade. It really was. It came up. It was all over the leaderboard. When we started at 9:30, it was all ES30 strategies, and I decided to trade the NASDAQ. So, you know, I can't fault anybody but myself on that. The methodology I just didn't follow it correctly. I hit my loss limit trading the NASDAQ, excuse me. And, I think the NASDAQ is like an addiction. I'm not kidding you. I used to watch Mark Sachs, and I can't tell you how many times he said, I'm never trading the NASDAQ again. But only to the very next morning, he'd be right back trading the NASDAQ. It's very alluring. The fast movement, the fast money. Yeah, Marcy was. She has. She already has 16 funded accounts, but now, and she's with one company, and now with another company, she's very close to passing another 10 or 15. Not one account was in the red, so Marcy's doing great. Finally got stopped out on that ES trade, but it was a monster. That strategy from running since overnight on the 8 Unorenko is up 42.12. Let's see for the month. I just started running it very recently. About 4,000 for the month, actually, on my computer. See how many days that is. One, two, 3, 4, 5 sessions. No, I'm just being honest, Marcy. Back in crude. Crude's been trading nice. Another move down on crude. We've got a 6-to-1 risk to reward on crude. Risking 15 to make 90. I tell you, I'm just looking at the numbers on that sim velocity, the smart velocity stop 2 with the velocity filter in it. It's at 9,100, but look at this. It's very aggressive. Even though it's up 9,100, you've got it takes a lot of losers. So if we can find some filters, some conditions to add to that strategy to make it more conservative and filter out those losers, this has the potential to really be one of our strongest strategies. We've got to get this number right here down. But it has $76,000 in winning trades. That's a lot of trades. It's over trading. These ES templates, they're just crushing it. Let's see where Steven's at for the month. The drone's down 4,400. The bot's up 1243. Oh, thank you, Marcy. I'll take a look at it. I'm sure, of course, of course. Um, Let me see what issue you're having. Oh, this crude trade could go all the way. Looking at crude. Crude's got decent volume. So that volume filter on that account we just set up is up 575. I loaded the NQ scalper strategy and put in a 500 volume threshold number. Maybe we increase that. Oh, here we go. Popping to the upside. Oh, that one looked like it was going to run. Let's increase the volume threshold on that just to see it. Let's increase it to 1,000. We'll put the regular NQ scalper up here. Down 7,000. The drone, excuse me, the drone that just keeps trading is down 7,000 on my computer on the NQ scalper drone. Might have to restart that. NQ scalper drone. There it goes. It kicked in when it got to 1,000. So that it actually is working perfectly. As soon as it broke 1,000, it popped in. The one without the condition got in earlier. So it actually is working perfectly, Scott. I watched it. I have the one up top that doesn't have the filter. It got in quicker. And then once it had the 1,000, this one kicked in. But you're in the trade on the bottom one, and you know that there's good volume. Had it been in a low volume environment, it would have prevented you getting into this trade, where you may not have had the follow through to get to your first profit target. That's a good filter to put in, especially if you're going to set it and forget it, or if you're going to trade overnight, to ensure you get into positions that there's good volume. In the overnight session, there's a lot of hours that are just very low volume. Yes. 11:30. Judy, is there any way that you can change that to 12? That we can change? Can we change it to 12? Or are you busy at 12? If not, I'll send you the Zoom for 11:30. This NQ scalper here, this is a one contract strategy. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's keep it at 11:30. I didn't realize there was such a time difference. My goodness, where are you? In Australia? No, we'll keep it at 11:30. Bangkok. Wow. Beautiful. I'm jealous. Traveling is definitely on the bucket list. Seeing this world. Bangkok, what a exciting place to see. Amazing history. Well, Robert, if you're out there, I got to thank you again, because that 30 range on the E-mini is just such a great strategy. And also, Mr. Higgins with the 8U. That was a record. I think that was the biggest ES trade I've ever had on that 8 Unarenko. Coming up behind me at 11, speaking of the ES and the S&P, we have Mr. David Wise, SPY Super System. There you are, Mike. Mr. Higgins. With the 8U. You know, and I think you both found those strategies the same way, come to think about it. They were both supposed to run on the NQ, and they ran on the ES, and did 10 times better than anything we got on the NQ. Duke. Yeah. I was gonna move Judy up to 11. Maybe we move to 11, Judy. As soon as I end this, that would work too. If it works for you. Look at that. The one with the volume threshold got in short. The one without the volume threshold is in long. Same exact strategy. Crazy. That's how just a few seconds, just a second or two, can, completely change the results of a strategy. That's a perfect example. On this bottom one, they're both running the NQ scalper. This one we put the 1,000 tick filter condition in. Got into a short trade, where this one had jumped in earlier into a long trade. So they're in conflicting positions on the same exact strategy, just with a little bit of a delay. $50 trend. Okay, so we'll do it right at 11, Judy. I'm going to send you a Zoom link as soon as this session ends. Okay, let's go back to our 2 minute. Let's see what the retirement plan's done. Nothing. I had one 2 minute strategy on. 2 minute smart stop. Back in gold. I'm sorry, crude oil. 6-to-1 risk to reward on this. If it gets legs, it can be a very lucrative trade. No, I'm gonna contact you, Duke, as soon as I'm finished with Judy. Been meaning to get a hold of you. Well, I hope everybody has a really nice weekend. And I sure hope they get that fire put out in California. $80, $90 mile per hour winds, I read. So the E-mini's retracing right back to the VWAP. Right back up to the VWAP. Let's go back to our smart velocity. Sim smart velocity. This is the strategy that's up $10,000 this month. It takes a lot of trades, but it comes up on the winning end. This is Sim Smart. This is the velocity. It's the NASDAQ Smart Stop 2 with the velocity filter. That's on 2280. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Duke. Duke, integral part of the supply chain. Driving that truck. I put a link in a little earlier. If you're available today at 1 o'clock Eastern, we're going to do a live presentation on the AI Auto Trader. If you're not available, just still register. You get the replay. Coming up behind me on YouTube is going to be David Wise. And I tell you, if you trade futures, he's trading obviously stocks and options, but you see him take a trade on the SPY, you could take it on the ES. It's same thing. Okay, Duke. Duke's a good man. I keep thinking crude oil is going to break loose here. It's just in slow motion. Well, you can kind of see how each one of the strategies has its own way of moving, its own personality. The NASDAQ, very jumpy, jittery. The ES and crude oil, a lot slower. Good, got a short trade here. Ooh, this is treacherous on the NASDAQ today. Big trouble. Big trouble. Gold's in a big short trade too. Gold and crude short. I have an NQ scalper strategy that just trades one contract. That's this Sim NQ scalper. It hit my profit goal of 1,500. For the month, it's only up $300 for the month. About a break-even strategy. Let's see if the E-mini can break through that VWAP. Starting to get a bounce now. Another thing I like to do, if you see that the stop on crude oil is way up here, and I'm up $400 on the trade. Another way to manage the trade, where it's a data driven, is to right click on the stop itself. Right click, and when this comes up, you go over to attach to indicator, and you select properties, and then select the modified fast. It's the third indicator down, and click OK. And my stop now is pinned to my 15 EMA. So now my stop is a momentum-based trailing stop. That's not going to allow it to come all the way back and take all my profits. Now, there's also a way to do it in the strategy parameters, but if you see you're in an open position and you haven't had a chance to correct it yet, that's one way to correct it real quick. We'll talk, Duke, on the phone. Nice trade on crude. Went right up to the VWAP. Here we go. We're back in. Back in on that ES scalper. Back in. Boy, this is another one. What a beautiful entry. Short roll right off the VWAP on that E-mini. And we are off to the races again. Hit that first target. Hmm. Okay, we hit that first target on the E-mini. Oh, we got the smart stop on crude. We got that bullish engulfing candle, and it took me out of the trade on the crude trade. That green dot you see over my candle, that's signifying the smart stop. It's a bullish engulfing candle. That's that machine learning integration. It sensed the reversal coming and took profits. Here comes the haymaker entry right here. All right, we got about 6 minutes. The 2-minute smart stop settings. I'll share those with you today, Roscoe. Let's take a look at the 2-minute smart stop. The 2-minute smart stop, this is the month. It's up 1280. The analysis on it, if we look at it on a half hour of the day, it's got a nice candle at 6 a.m. and then a little later in the morning, it starts to come on, about 11 o'clock. Does best at 11:30. Then there's a pretty good half hour towards the closing bell. But I'd be happy to share it with you, Roscoe. Where I'll put it is in that bottom channel of our Discord chat. The collaboration channel. Down here. I put the gold that runs on the 2 Unarenko. I shared that template here. That one has its moments. Well, it looks like the winner today, and it was by a long shot, is going to be that UB test. That's the 8 Unarenko. Well, all I did with this account, so you know, is I loaded the NQ8U NQ scalper, and I changed the instrument to the ES. That was it. That's the only thing I did. So everybody has that. It's the NQ8U scalper that's running on the E-mini. And just to distinguish the performance, I put it on the Sim UB test account. Yeah, it's the NQ scalper. Rao, your scalper's up 850. Nice. You love that scalper, Rao. I get so nervous trading it on that the Nasdaq on an 8 Unarenko. I can't even sit still. I apologize, Arun. I could see where I am jumping around a little bit, and I'll try to stop that. Understood. All right, it is 11 a.m. So let's go over the high points of the day. The ES30 range. I'm sorry, the ES8 Unarenko. ES8 Unarenko. The Higgins. Bam. Mr. Higgins introduced us to the 8U ES 4,525, and it's in another runner to the downside. That's this strategy right here. This strategy is really doing amazing. And that is number one on our leaderboard. Number two, Robert on the ES30 range. ES. Number three, crude oil. Number four, we got the NQ Scalper, the one contract strategy. The ES30 range drone. Our NQ30 using the velocity filter. I'm sorry, Arun. I'm just going through the leaderboard here. These are the different bots that run on different time frames, different instruments, and use different conditions for their entries. And then the last 4 or 5 are all going to be, with exception to the 2-minute on the NASDAQ, are all going to be the ES on the 30 range. So the ES on the 8U, the ES on the 30 range. What I mean by 8U, Arun, is that strategy trades on the 8 Unarenko bar that you see up here on my chart. The velocity just came back, and it's up 1370 on the NASDAQ. Crude oil came right, it was on our leaderboard. I saw it early. And it's taken some really nice trades. I like to do this, attach it to the 15 EMA. The 15 EMA is this dotted line, this red dotted line that you see here. That's the 15 period moving average. If I feel my stop is giving it too much room, I can right click on my stop and attach it to my 15 EMA by selecting the third indicator down, the modified fast. And watch, when I click OK, my stop is going to fly down and attach to my 15 EMA. See it? So I'm going to lock in some profits. It's not going to come back on me. It took the smart stop. It took the smart stop again. All right, everybody. Listen, I hope you have a blessed weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. And remember, today at 1 o'clock, and Arun, if you're available, please come. If you're not going to be available at 1, register so you get the replay. And I'm going to break down what it is I'm talking about when we trade the system. I think you'll have a far better understanding of what we're talking about here. And I'm sorry if I lost you. But thank you for joining me, and thank you for sticking in there with me. God bless everybody. Have a great weekend. Okay, Judy, I'm going to send you that. My apologies, Arun. I'm going to send you that Zoom right now, Judy.